Going to go ahead and get us started. Good evening, everyone. Program, and I'm so excited to welcome you all to this evening's talk about the Wake Forest College Launch for Leadership program as part of Wake Forest University's pre-college programs. Just some general housekeeping for the night. Please feel free to submit any and all questions as they come to you in the Q&A. We have our program staff here that will be answering questions throughout the night, and then we'll do a live Q&A at the end. Please make sure to keep your questions general. If you have any specific questions about your student or situation, please email collegelaunch@wfu.edu. And for students and families who weren't able to join us this evening, we will be recording tonight's event and we'll be emailing it out in the next couple of days. So we just want to introduce our team. The Wake Forest Pre-College Programs team is made up of the individuals on this slide. Amongst the 7 of us, we have decades of experience working with young people in K-12 education, higher education, and student support and counseling, and we're really excited to get to know your students this year. We will be with your students, making sure they have an enriching and positive experience. And this year, every student will be paired with one of the professional team members who will assist with mentoring, reviewing college prep materials, and the YPAR project items throughout the duration of the year. Just an agenda for this evening, we're going to discuss what to expect this year in regards to programming, how to prepare for summits, and logistics to give you more insight into the launch experience, and then we'll end with a Q&A session for you to ask any outstanding questions.
Hello, I'm Kyla Hollingsworth, and The Origin of Things is a poem that we recite during every Saturday Summit. It's a poem by Listervelt Middleton, and in reciting this poem, we're able to ground ourselves in unison, and we are able to exemplify the values of the College Launch for Leadership program and the values our scholars embody. So I'll just give you a moment to read the poem yourself. You can see that it's short, but quite powerful. Now I'd like to share a little bit about the history of College Launch. The College Launch for Leadership program started in 2014, and we are delighted to see the growth and the expansion of College Launch to span both Charlotte as well as Winston-Salem. We offer 2 cohorts, one cohort of students that meet at our Charlotte campus once a month from September through May, and then a secondary cohort in Winston-Salem that meets on our main campus as well. And the core pillars of College Launch are college prep, social justice, and leadership development. Students that complete the program can expect to walk away as better leaders, confident in their ability to create change in their communities, and better empowered for the college application process. This year, we are proud to celebrate 10 years of the College Launch for Leadership program, and we're excited to celebrate with you parents as well as your scholars, which will be a momentous year on October 19th when we have our 10-year celebration. And we'll talk a little bit more about that later in the session. But you can see our program includes monthly Saturday summits, a youth participatory action research project that students will be grouped together based off of their interest. Common App essay practice with personalized feedback from our professional staff, as well as academic advising, office hours where students are able to meet us either virtually or in person at whichever campus is closest to their home, in addition to quarterly workshops that are often on Zoom, and one-on-one check-ins upon request, and most importantly, mentorship and lots of leadership opportunities. Now I'll turn it to Elizabeth to talk a little bit about college launch expectations.
Hi, everyone. I'm Elizabeth Anthony. I'm the program coordinator for pre-college programs. Throughout the year, scholars will be assigned quarterly journal assignments to practice writing their Common App essays and personal statements for their college applications. Scholars will receive feedback from a member of the pre-college team, so that's one of us, to revise their essays during the duration of the year. This process will be repeated 3 to 4 times throughout the academic year, allowing students to refine their writing skills and develop compelling essays through iterative feedback and revision. And you will be the person, like Mackenzie mentioned just a little bit ago, the staff member that you will be assigned to is the staff member who is going to be helping you with your journals throughout the year. And I also want to talk about attendance a little bit. Scholars are required to attend 8 out of the 9 Saturday summits. There's 1 excused absence, of course. We ask you to be prompt to remain for the entire duration of the summit. And then, of course, arriving by 8:30 a.m. and allowing plenty of time for check-in in the mornings. And then you must be picked up. If you didn't drive yourself, you do have to be picked up by 1 p.m. Scholars are encouraged to remain responsive throughout the duration of the program. They are expected to check email and Google Classroom regularly and RSVP for and attend, like I said, 8 out of the 9 Saturday summits, actively participate during the Saturday summits, and actively participate in their group's YPAR project, which I'll get into in just a little bit. Other expectations, of course, include being respectful to the program staff, to we have high school seniors who were in the program last year. They are on what we call the Youth Leadership Executive Board, and they will serve as mentors. They will be with us, a handful of them at least will be with us for every Saturday summit. So scholars need to be respectful of their mentors and also of each other. And we'll all have a good time. So that YPAR project, YPAR stands for Youth Participatory Action Research Project. It's quite a mouthful, but once you practice, you can say it pretty quickly. It is a way for scholars to become researchers about their daily lives in the hopes of developing realistic solutions for dealing with the problems that they believe need to be addressed in their communities. During this project, students will identify an issue that they feel passionate about and work in groups to dive deeper into the topic and take a small community action or step with a community partner. And that's something we absolutely assist the scholars in finding, whether that's, a knowledgeable individual in the community or it's, a community organization. We can help scholars get connected. And then help them kind of figure out what they want that action step to be that kind of concludes their projects.
Hi, everyone. I'm Lauren Yanku. I am also program manager for Wake Forest Pre-College Programs. And I will tell you a little bit about our Youth Leadership Executive Board, which we do refer to as YLEB. So these are a group of students that are committed to the college launch cause. They went through the program last year during their junior year and now return as seniors to be mentors and provide support to both the Charlotte and Winston-Salem cohorts. So they will be there at Saturday summits. They will be assigned a group for the YPAR project to help out with. And they, just went through this. So they are just a great resource. And these are students that are now in the thick of applying to college now. So they will be able to really help out with what to expect. So now we're going to talk about what your year will actually look like in the College Launch Program. So here is our year at a glance. So each month will have its own theme. So in September, when we have our first in-person meeting, we'll dive into another intro to what launch is. And this will also just be a chance for the cohorts to get to know each other. And then we will dive right into our core pillars. So we'll do an activity about social justice, and we'll also talk about writing an impactful essay. We'll move into October, where we will actually start the morning with a virtual meeting over Zoom to talk about the YPAR project and more on what that will entail. And then you'll start thinking about your topic and your group mates. And then that afternoon, everyone will be invited to come to the Wake Forest Charlotte Center for our 10th anniversary celebration. So we are so excited for this day, and hopefully everyone can be a part of it to come celebrate all that College Launch has accomplished over the past 10 years. So it'll be an exciting day with a keynote speaker and some other activities going on. So we're really looking forward to that. In November, we have our first partnership day. So throughout the year, we partner with different schools within Wake Forest, the different colleges, to give our students insight into what potential majors could look like and then what potential career pathways. So these will be days where we all go to Winston-Salem to the main campus, and anytime that we require the Charlotte cohort to be in Winston-Salem, we do provide a bus transportation to Winston-Salem. So in November, we will partner with the business school to learn more about business majors and business career pathways. And then in December, we will have a virtual test taking strategies which is partnership with CPCC to talk about taking the ACT, because we know that will be coming up for this year's cohort. In January, we have another partnership with our physics and engineering department. So that will be on campus in Winston-Salem. And then in February, we have our Discover Wake Forest Day, which is in partnership with the university undergraduate admission. So you'll get a tour of Wake Forest, you'll meet with admissions, and learn about why Wake Forest is such a special place to be. And on that day, we do actually invite scholars to bring one parent or guardian to come with them, so that way they can learn about Wake Forest as well. In March, we'll go over building your college list, and we'll also have time to work more on YPAR, that Youth Participatory Action Research Project that we've been talking about, but you'll also get time throughout the year to work on that as well, just not just in March. And then April, we'll have our last partnership day, which is with the School of Medicine. And then in May, we will have graduation, which will also include our YPAR presentations that the groups will give. And then for those dates, those official dates that we have were sent out in your welcome email. So you'll definitely want to get those on your calendar so you can block them off. So now just talking about some logistics for the Saturday summits. For parking, we do have a parking deck at the Wake Forest Charlotte Center. You can be dropped off as well, but if you're planning to bring a car and park, you can park there, and then just make sure to bring your ticket inside, and we will help validate that once programming ends. In Winston-Salem, you can park in any lot labeled general, faculty or staff or visitor, and then you can see our list of recommended ones. If you go to the Wake Forest Transportation website, it will have the most up-to-date map of campus, which will show you, it'll have all the different lots highlighted. So you'll be able to use that if you need some help getting around. For scholar pick up and drop off, scholars should be dropped off at either the Charlotte Center or Winston-Salem, the campus, by 8:30. This is when they'll check in and get set up for the day. Parents or guardians, you can walk them in. You are not required to. The scholars will sign themselves in and then check out with us. And then we ask that for in-person Saturday summits, program will end at 1, and they are expected to leave the facility at 1 p.m. following the conclusion of the day. So just some more on logistics and what to bring. You'll definitely want to bring a water bottle and then a pen, pencil, and notebook. Dress is pretty casual, so what you would wear to school would be appropriate to wear on our Saturdays. So you can read this to give you a little bit more insight. And we also definitely recommend bringing a sweater, especially as it gets colder. Some of the rooms are air conditioned and we want everyone to be comfortable. If you do need to wear a different outfit, like business casual, we would let you know in advance. So now we'll talk about a day in the life at a Saturday summit. So this is just an example schedule of what a day might look like. So you can arrive as early as 8 a.m. and we'll get you checked in between 8:30 and 9. And we will start promptly right at 9 a.m. We'll start with a welcome and some icebreakers before we might lead into an essay workshop. We will always do breaks throughout the day. So we might lead into a break and then head into a social justice group activity, take another break and have a panel of some sort. And then we'll do closing announcements and an exit ticket. And then as mentioned, we will dismiss at 1 p.m. This is just an example. Each day might include activities like panels, workshops, group discussions, and guest speakers throughout the programming. We will have snacks provided throughout the day, but scholars are also allowed to bring in their own water bottles and snacks that they can have as well. Electronics are allowed. However, we ask that just scholars be respectful of any programming that's going on, guest speakers, and presentations that are happening. Scholars should not be on their phones during a Saturday summit unless it's a break or we have asked them to use it to complete an activity.
Now I'd like to share a little bit of our alumni data. So we're very proud of our alumni, and the previous class of launch, they have just done amazing things, and 347 different colleges and universities students have been accepted to. And out of that, they're enrolled in 39 different colleges and universities. Several students attend the same universities. And in total, students were awarded 4.9 million in scholarships and grants. And we are definitely here as a resource. We do have a scholarship database that we share with students and parents, and we strongly encourage you to utilize that database when deciding if and when you want to apply for scholarships. And the next slide outlines our 2023-2024 pre and post survey data. So we want to make sure that scholars understand that they feel prepared to apply for college. So that's a part of the College Launch Program, giving them that college preparation, as well as allowing them to grow in their awareness of social injustices that are taking place in their community by participating in the Youth Participatory Action Research Project, and then also allowing them to have the confidence to be able to speak up and to create change within their schools, within their communities, that will ultimately provide change throughout the world and empower students. And here are a few quotes from our alum, giving you the opportunity to kind of see what some of our alumni have shared. I'll read one in particular. Maddie, she is now a freshman at Wake Forest University, and she quoted, "I thoroughly enjoyed my participation in College Launch and learned a great deal, which has prepared me for my next phase of attending college in the fall. The guidance, mentorship I continue to receive from this wonderful program is very welcomed and greatly appreciated." So we're very committed to making sure that students have a positive experience and they learn and grow within their leadership development, their college prep, making sure that they're ready to apply for school, as well as helping them understand who they are as a leader, and how they can impact their community in a positive way. Now I'd like to share some information about another program that's housed within the pre-college program's umbrella of options here at Wake Forest, and that is our Wake Forest Summer Immersion Program. So our professional staff, we split the year, and during the academic year, we work on College Launch, and then during the summer, we work on summer immersion. And summer immersion is an opportunity for high school students, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, to be able to apply. And then once upon acceptance, you're able to select a week that you are able to come and spend a week over the summer in the months of either June or July on campus at Wake Forest University. So we strongly encourage College Launch scholars to apply on November 1st when our application goes live, and we'll also remind students closer to the November 1 date. And over the summer, we'll offer 19 different institutes that range in topics from medicine to law, sports business to neuroscience. We have 19 different options for students to select from, and they mirror the most popular majors and career paths that students are interested in. So regardless of whatever college or university you're interested in, you're able to apply to participate in the summer immersion program, and you'll get an in-depth look at that career path as well as that field of study. We also encourage scholars to complete the scholarship application because there is tuition associated with the summer immersion program. The tuition is all inclusive. It includes housing, all of your meals, all of the labs and activities, as well as field trips that students will participate in. and our scholarships are awarded quite quickly. So we do encourage students to apply early November, and oftentimes our institutes are filled and on a wait list by January. So we want to make sure that you are able to know ahead of time to look out for that application so you're able to participate in summer immersion.
So talking a little bit more about the logistical piece of College Launch and being a scholar, the way that we will keep up with all of our scholars for their announcements, assignments, and resources is going to be through our Google Classroom. So every cohort will have its own Google Classroom where you'll find announcements, assignments, and resources for the year. We'll be sharing all of the scholars to their Google Classroom tomorrow. We have Gmail accounts from your registration email. We just want to send a reminder to make sure that you've shared your non-school Gmail account with us in order to be added to your Google Classroom. If you notice that you haven't shared your non-school Gmail account, feel free to give us an email and we will make sure we get you sorted. An additional way that we are trying to keep up scholars and families this year is through our Remind Classroom. So I'm just going to give everyone a moment to pause and take out their phones and join the Charlotte cohort if you're Charlotte or the Winston-Salem cohort if you're Winston. We'll be using Remind to send text announcements throughout the year. So reminders about summits, assignments, other important news or opportunities that we want to push out to scholars and families will come through the Remind Classroom as well as email. So make sure you are signed up for our Remind Classroom for the year. So just beginning to look ahead to the start of our year, we will have our first summit in September. So it will be in Winston on September 28th for our Winston-Salem cohort and Charlotte on September 21st. That's when you'll begin to meet your cohort, you'll begin to discuss social justice topics, and just really learn more about writing a strong personal statement for your college application. We send out a family email at the start of every month about the summit for that month. So please continue to keep an eye on your inbox for an RSVP email with additional details. We ask that everyone RSVP for every summit, even if they're unable to attend for the day. It helps us get an idea of who's going to be there. It helps us continue to keep an eye on attendance and just kind of know what's going on and see if there are any ways that we can support you throughout the year. Before we open it up to our Q&A portion, we do have some forms that we will need our scholars to fill out. So we have our pre-survey and our student code of conduct. The pre-survey will take about 10 to 15 minutes to complete. So if you want to take some more time to do it later, it will be in your Google Classroom, but you can scan the QR codes on the screen and then you'll be able to join your Google Classroom tomorrow morning and complete the pre-survey if you haven't been able to. If you haven't received your Google Classroom invite by the end of the day tomorrow, that could mean that your invite's incompatible and that you'll need to email us to give us a new one. And if you're having any trouble locating it, we really encourage everyone to check their junk mailbox for the invitation. Sometimes it doesn't go to your regular inbox and ends up in the junk mail, so make sure you check first and then send us an email. In addition to some of our student forums, we'll have information we want from parents. Parents will be receiving an email tomorrow morning as well, just with some additional forms to complete for their student for the year. So we'll have a parent consent form for parents and then a medical authorization. We're asking everyone complete all of their forms. So your pre-survey, your code of conduct, your medical authorization, and your parent consent form by Friday, September 13th. Now we just want to open it up to see if there are any questions. Feel free to submit any and all of your questions in the Q&A box, and we'll take some time to answer them before we close for the evening.
Okay, so we will get started with our first question. Mackenzie, could you tell us more about how many people are in the program this year?
We have about roughly 115 in our cohort. This is a little bit of a larger cohort. We'll see 50 to 60 in Charlotte and 50 to 60 in Winston. So tons of opportunities to network with students from different areas in your town, the same school as you, maybe a different school from you. So we'll have a lot of scholars for everyone to get to know this next year.
For our Winston-Salem cohort, what building will they need to check in at?
The buildings will change based on the summit. So this first summit will be in Green Hall, and we'll put all of the information on the building you'll need to be in your family email. We'll include a map, we'll include the closest parking lot. We make sure all of that is communicated ahead of time. So if we're anywhere different, you will know before the summit begins.
Let's see, Elizabeth, will the Charlotte and Winston groups ever work together?
So the Charlotte and Winston groups will have a few summits that they will attend jointly on the same day together. And they may have opportunities to split into groups, get to know each other during those joint summits. However, the YPAR projects, you will only be in a group with people from your cohort. So there will be plenty of opportunities to meet the other cohort and make new friends, but your YPAR group will be from your own cohort.
Okay, Mackenzie, do we have a higher chance of being accepted into Wake Forest by doing this program?
We always like to communicate that the College Launch for Leadership program is not a pipeline program. It is a wonderful opportunity to put on your resume for any school you're applying to show your commitment to preparing for college, and also show, if you're interested in Wake, that you're invested and want to learn more about the university and what it has to offer.
Elizabeth, could you talk about how the YPAR groups are chosen?
So the YPAR group, so there's going to be a form that we have y'all fill out in a couple months. We'll kind of give you guys some time to get to know each other. Maybe you already know you have a friend in the program. That's awesome. But if not, we definitely want you to, feel it out, make some friends, and then there will be a form, an interest form that everybody will fill out to let us know first what topics you're interested in. There will be, a section in that form where you can kind of just check various boxes to let us know. And then another part of that form will be to let us know if you are interested in working with specific people in your cohort. So we will use both of those things congruently to place you in your groups. You can let us know if you have no preference, if you are very passionate about your topic of choice and you don't care necessarily so much who you work with, you more care about working within that topic with other people who are also interested in that topics. So that is how we will form, and it will be no more than 6 people in a group.
Mackenzie, could you talk about some previous examples of the YPAR project?
So some of the groups that we've had in the past year have worked with workplace things, so code switching or acculturation. We had a group that was really interested in the healthcare field. So we had one group create a healthcare resource calculator for Forsyth County. Another group got to work with some local nurses to learn more about the nursing career and how they could advocate for them. One of our groups decided that they wanted to talk about food insecurity, so they worked with Loaves and Fishes and tried to volunteer for the day. So we just really encourage whatever type of passion or issue in your community that you are noticing and want to try to impact. There's definitely a YPAR project that can align with it, and we are willing and here to support you in pursuing that.
Mackenzie, could you also talk about anything more specific with dress code that they should know?
Dress code is pretty casual, so what you could wear to school. So jeans and a t-shirt are fine. If you want to bring a sweatshirt for colder days, dresses and skirts are fine. We do ask, of course, that midriffs are covered, that skirts are or shorts are at a proper length so that everything is properly covered. We'd work a lot with professionals when we have our days on campus, when we're working with the School of Physics or the business school. So these days, we really do encourage you to put your best foot forward in whatever way that looks like. We'll also be giving Scholars Launch t-shirts throughout the year. So there might be some summits where we ask everyone to wear their launch t-shirt just for a way to build community and create some really great photo opportunities. So definitely make sure that you have that in mind.
And then can this program help with research opportunities?
This program does provide some really great access to professors and faculty who are always willing and interested to hear students out. So if you have an interest in research or a specific topic and you attend a summit and you really enjoy who you're talking to, the professors at Wake are always really accessible and really willing to talk to students, even high school students, about their interests, about their research. So definitely come to summits with that in mind, that there's always a spot and an opportunity to network and meet someone new that can help with some of your interest.
And that can also be said about the summer immersion program as well, just another avenue to learn a little bit more about what you want to do and make connections with professionals in the field that you're interested in. For any forms or QR codes we put up, everything that you need will be put in Google Classroom tomorrow as well. That will be your hub for everything you need throughout the year. So if you miss something, don't worry about it. You have plenty of time to get those forms done. All right. Any other questions? All right. Elizabeth, will there be any homework regarding the YPAR projects, or will it all be done while at a summit on Saturdays when we're all together?
That's a great question. So we will build in some time at some of the summits for you to work on your project with your other group members. Some of the summits, just based on, you know, all the things we need to get done, really fun stuff that we're gonna get to do at these summits. There won't be enough time, but some of them we are going to build, you know, 30 minutes in here and there. We are also going to provide work days. So that's, you know, we haven't decided exactly, we don't have dates, but it's probably going to be, you know, like a 4 to 6 p.m. time frame during a weeknight where you'd come in, you come to campus if you're in Winston, or you go to the Charlotte Center if you're in Charlotte, and your group could meet there. And one of us, one or two of us would be there to assist. But yes, we do expect scholars to work on their projects outside of summit hours. You wouldn't be able to complete it otherwise. We're not expecting, you know, anything like 5-hour commitment of work time a week. I would say, you know, a good average would be, maybe 45 minutes to an hour a week tops. If you average it out. Or you can do, you can work on it really hard one week and then maybe not put, so it's spread out, I would say about an hour a week. Once the project is assigned, your group is assigned and all that stuff.
Mackenzie, does the launch program continue during senior year, besides those that might not do the executive board? So could you just talk about like alumni involvement a little bit?
Mm-hmm. We are really committed to supporting our launch scholars even after their junior year. So as seniors, we offer college essay review, help with applications. You're still able to access the scholarship database. Any type of public workshop or event that we hold that's not a Launch Saturday Summit are open to alumni as well. And we also do an alumni newsletter that we send out about every quarter that will talk about tips for applying to college, tips for applying to jobs, and also feature some of our launch alumni. So we really want to stay connected with you all even after you complete the launch program as a high school junior.
Also for Mackenzie, will their report card grades affect them continuing being a part of the launch program?
They will not. We want to make sure we are checking in with you throughout the process and just thinking of ways that we can continue to support you. So we want to be another resource to encourage you throughout your high school journey.
Okay. Also for Mackenzie, if a student cannot attend their scheduled either Winston-Salem or Charlotte Saturday Summit, are they able to join the other one?
Most of our summits are joint summits. That would be something that we would encourage you to reach out to us and speak about to see if it's something we can look at. We do, of course, have our 8 out of 9 requirement, so we are holding firm on that just to make sure everyone is attending summits. You get the most out of the experience when you're able to attend all of the summits to properly engage with your group and get to engage with the other cohort members.
Any other questions? For the Google Classroom invites, can you talk about when they'll receive that again, Mackenzie?
You'll receive your Google Classroom invites tomorrow morning. So in your Gmail that you've given us, you'll get an invite to join the classroom. The Google Classroom is for scholars only, but you'll get that link to sign up, and that's where you'll find all of the forms. Everything will be posted too. So we definitely encourage you to take some time once you're in there to get familiar with it. It's going to be your hub throughout the year. So to get to know it well before things get busy is greatly recommended.
Could you talk about a little bit more during senior year and the essay help we provide then?
So say you're a senior and you're working on your Common App essay and you just want a second set of eyes, you're always welcome to reach out to the team and ask them to provide that. We do encourage that you let us know ahead of time. We take about 2 weeks to get back to you all on materials, but we are here to review essays, provide feedback. If you're interested in meeting for a little bit to talk about it, these are all resources that we're willing and happy to provide as a senior.
Kyla, could you talk about the reason why Wake Forest runs this program?
Absolutely. That's a great question. So the program started in 2014, and one of the mottos that Wake Forest embodies is Pro Humanitate, which means for humanity. And the university really believes in allowing students, regardless of their background or interest in Wake Forest, to be able to give to the community within Charlotte, because we have our campus in Charlotte, as well as to give to the community in Winston-Salem. And yet again, the pillars of the program really focus on college preparation, allowing high school students, regardless of their interests, to be able to plan and prepare for whichever college or university they're most interested in. So this program is not designed solely for students interested in Wake Forest University. We really want to help invest and grow students and help them explore options outside of Wake Forest University for college. So really helping them with their college preparation, their leadership development, and social justice. So that is why the program exists.
Mackenzie, if their school is not showing on the Google form, what do you want them to do?
On the Google form for when you input the information. Try hard typing it in. If that's still giving you an issue, leave it blank and send us an email and we will update your file for you.
Okay. Any other questions? Elizabeth, do parents attend the summits?
We wish we could welcome everyone to the summits, but unfortunately, there's a space limit, and the only summit that parents are allowed to attend is the Discover Wake Forest Day in February, and that is, of course, as Mackenzie mentioned, just one parent or guardian is allowed to attend with their student. But other than that, just drop off and pick up and answer really, really good questions of your scholars when they get home.
Mackenzie, can you repeat the college launch email address?
Yes, it is collegelaunch@wfu.edu. And we can also pop it in the chat box for everyone as well.
Okay, final call for questions. Ooh, communication during the school year. Mackenzie, could you talk about that, what that looks like for scholars and parents?
So at the beginning of every month, we send out a family email, so that will go out to scholars and parents, providing reminders about the upcoming summit, details on how you RSVP. We'll talk about what you might need to bring, if there's any special attire or transportation details. So you can expect that at the start of every month. After the summit, we do a newsletter as well to scholars and families just to recap the day, show some of the amazing photos that are taken, share what scholars learned or what they're walking away with. And then throughout the month, we'll do announcements in Google Classroom that will go to scholar emails. And then we'll do announcements over the Remind Classroom as well. That will be a text blast to scholars and parents on reminders about RSVPing, reminders about any YPAR deadlines or journal assignments. So that will be the best way to get in touch with us. We're always also available over email or phone as well.
For YPAR projects, Mackenzie, can they meet with their assigned group online to work on their project?
Yes, they definitely can. You all can meet over Google Meet. I know that they have accounts where you can do 30 to 1 hour meetings. We're also more than happy to always set students up with a Zoom if they need to meet that way. We also encourage FaceTime or phone calls. There are plenty of ways for you to stay connected with your group, and we really encourage that. It makes working on a group project so much easier when you all can meet face to face in some type of format and get all your ideas out all at once.
The recording of this will be sent out afterwards. So if you want to review anything, you'll be able to. It'll also be put in Google Classroom. Okay, we'll give it another minute just to get final questions in. Okay, Mackenzie, I think we're ready to close out.
Hey, well, we really appreciate everyone for joining us this evening. We are so excited to get the year started with you and your scholars. We can't wait to meet everyone in September and get to know you all and support you through junior year and senior year as it comes. Please make sure to send us any questions that might come up to our college launch inbox, and keep an eye out for your invitation to Google Classroom or your email about parent forms tomorrow. We hope everyone enjoys the rest of their evening, and thank you so much for joining us.